Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, check out Bitcoin. It's actually doing a little bit of a correction. Same thing, what we talked about earlier. Um, and what's really interesting is I found this fractal that you might want to look at. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. So basically, this is a screenshot of the current price of Bitcoin. And, I just drew a little bit of some squigglies on there. But basically, it sort of looks like this fractal down here. So if I zoom out, you can kind of see. I mean, it's not perfect by no means at all, but it's something worth looking at, especially if I do a little screenshot again and I can highlight a little bit here, and I'll use dark color. Okay, so you start off with this channel right in here. Same thing here. Now, granted, this one was ascending and this one was sort of flat. Then you had this breakout right here, sort of like a Bart Simpson's type of pattern, but not, not textbook. It is sort of, it is what it is, right? This sort of, you know, hump, if you want to call it. And then obviously we had this big retracement. It's not big when you look at it from the chart, but it was pretty. It was a decent size back in, I believe that was April of this year. Yeah. And then we had this three-wave move, right? And now we're probably working on that three-wave move, and then we'll just go into consolidation, and then back, and then continue to go up. So this was your consolidation. So in other words, you have a rise, you have a rise, you have a crash, you have a retrace, and then you go into reaccumulation. And that's sort of like my textbook theory is rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. That's sort of how markets like to play. So basically, I do like the fractal. I don't know if it's going to do all this in here, but at least come down and let's back test this area in here. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So if you want to just look at them side by side, it is so far following. So let's go back to the chart. Okay, so now we have a nice clean chart. So what else could this be? Well, before we talk about that, let's just talk about what we talked about before on the last video, which was coming back down to this area, right? This was a beautiful sort of ascending triangle that over exceeded its target, by the way, by a lot. So, and you can also look at it as this, this channel in here too, right? So I'm actually going to pull that in a minute, but basically what the price is doing is it had this impulse, right? If I do this, we had this impulse, and then we coiled into this ascending triangle like a coiled spring. Then your supply line, which is this line here, your trend line, and your resistance line is your supply line, and the trend line is your demand line. So this is the demand and this is the supply. And when the demand and the supply meet in this apex right in here, something happens. Either the supply takes over and we break down, or the demand exceeds the supply and we mark up. So in this case, what did we do? The demand was so strong, we blew right past this resistance. Okay, that's number one. So we got through the resistance, boom, perfect. So now we made the move, right? And now what? Well, we now are correcting. So what is this correction? Well, before we talk about that, let's think about, where this thing can go. And oftentimes when you break out, you come back down to back test the breakout zone. It doesn't have to. Nothing has to do anything, right? Nothing has to do anything. But oftentimes, when you have a perfect resistance and you break it, and now you're correcting up in here, usually the price likes to come back somehow, some way, right? We're getting a nice pump today, so it's probably not, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be today. I can almost guarantee it's not going to be today. But maybe some point this week, we can come down and tag this 38, 37. That would actually be bullish, not bearish, right? Just because the price, it breaks up, and then you have this little dump here, people get, oh, it's over, it's no more, blah, blah, it's done with. But it has to. That's the only way the price can continue to move up, is you have to confirm what you did. It's just like, remember when you were in school and you had a math test, right? How many of you have cheated on a math test? I know I have. But the problem is, if you cheat, you have to show your work, right? So, think about it like that, right? If you're doing a test and it's a multiple choice and you pick C, it's C. And then the teacher goes, well, how did you get C? Well, because it's C. No, but you have to show your work. How did you get to that equation, right? And the same thing with Bitcoin, right? It broke out, which is like giving me the answer C, but it didn't come back down to show me its work, right? Because when you show work on a math test, that confirms you know what you're talking about, right? It confirms what you're talking about. Just like how the price coils up, breaks out. Breaking out, answering the question is easy. Yeah, it's C. But coming back down to show your work, to confirm that you know what you're talking about, to confirm the breakout, is the hard part. And that's what we're doing now, right? Because everybody's bullish in here, we break out, and now we come down and back test. Now, I'm not saying it has to do that. I mean, we could be finished now. This can be finished now, and we'll talk about that right now. So, trying to get my videos more speeded up, so people can go on about their day. But so, what else can this be? Well, we have a move to the upside. And what could possibly happen, right, is this could be done, which is what? Which is an A, a B, and a C. We're done. The three-way move is done. And now, what do we have? After an ABC, another impulse. So this would be wave 1, wave 2, and now we're going into wave 3, 4, and then 5. So that is the bullish way to look at it. So I've given two options so far. Number 1, we come down to back test, right? And then we go. Number 2 is this right here, which is, a 5-wave move to the upside, an A, B, C, and now this is a 1, 2. And now we're about to go into 3, 4, 5. So that's option number 2, which is the most bullish option. So let's zoom out a little bit and let's see what that looks like when we zoom out. So, and I'm going to put a line. Let me put a line right. I guess I could do this right in here somewhere. Okay, and I'll zoom out and then I'll just extend this over. And that gets us up into that target area, which would make total sense. And it's a lot of what I'm expecting is to get back to this point here, which is not that far away. It's 47K. Now, are we going to do it? I don't know. But that's sort of what I'm expecting. Now, remember, this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. I'm just giving you possibilities and ideas from what I know and the experience that I've had in the past with dealing with similar things like this. So, so those are the two options so far, and that gets us back up to this point. which would make total sense, right? And then that's where the real interesting things start to happen, is because, you know, Bitcoin right now is in its retracement levels, and that is more important than actually, you know, going into a new all-time high, is getting past the retracement levels. Like if we get past the retracement levels, let me just put it here so you could see, right? If we get past this, the 702, which we're getting rejected at, right? Isn't that funny how we came right to the 702? And nobody has the 702. A lot of people, let me take everything off the screen. A lot of people have the 618, you know, the 50%, right? They have the 382, the 236, and the 786. But not a lot of people have the 702. And I don't understand why, because it works so nicely. Look at that. It perfectly called. Well, not perfectly. Nothing's ever perfect, but it pretty much nailed it. And then also the 886. I don't have it on here right now, but the 886 is also very important. But anyway, we're at the 702. The next one would be the 786, right? If we can get past, say, 49.9K, I mean basically 50K, we have a good chance at challenging, you know, that 60K level. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen next year, or if this is just a big retracement, right? So I've talked about the overall picture, which is this is an A, B, C, and now we're on our way up. Or number two, this is an A and this is a B, and now we're going into C, and then we go up. Or this is a rise, crash, retrace, and then we come down for reaccumulation, and then we go up, which is sort of the one I'm leaning at. But that doesn't mean we don't have more upside to go. So just a little recap on the overall picture, but I'm trying to focus more on the shorter time frames today. Okay, so what else can this be here? Well, maybe this is a WXY working here, where you have, this is W, now we're coming up for X, and then we come down for Y, and Y can land, you know, on the backtest zone. It can land, you know, anywhere within reason of relative to wave W, right? So I'll just plant it right there, and for those who don't know, a WXY is like an ABC, but instead of 5, it's 3 waves. So you have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, and now we come down for 1, 2, 3. If we get 5 in Y, then it would be an ABC. And then we sort of, you know, chill out a little bit and then get going for the next wave. And that's sort of what I'm expecting would probably be something like that. And that would also line up with the fractal I shared in the beginning of the video, something like a complex structure, right? More of like a zigzag, right? You boom, 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 you know, complexity in here, and coming down to back test this area. It doesn't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to, but something like that. So there you go. Those are the ideas. That's all the ideas I have for now. And just real quick, this is a 5-wave move with an ABC, and this is a 1, 2, and now we're going to go 3, 4, 5, right? Or the fractal I shared in the beginning of the video, or some type of 3-wave move that gets us down into here to backtest, or obviously that WXY that I just showed. So if I had to pick one, it's kind of hard to say, because you know, when I look at this fractal here, it's pretty good, and it makes me think that we could do that WXY structure, right? or something close to it, where we just sort of fiddle around in here. Maybe maybe I didn't think about that. Maybe it's a diag of some sort, right? Where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we start heading out like a falling wedge, you know. It could be bearish though, because the falling wedge could just lead to a three-wave pullback and then a continuation to the downside. For example, you have one. Well, let me draw it better. You have something like this, right? Where you're just kind of, oh, that was horrible. Something like that where you're falling, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sort of, and then also coming down to potentially backtest this area, right? And then we start moving our way up. Now, the thing is, what I was going to say is, this can be A, B, C, because since this is 5 waves, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get a 3-wave pullback, retracing this high here, and then we come down for 5 more, which would be very bearish, because then, you know, or maybe also this high can go a little bit higher, right? And then we get that divergence from the 4th and the 5th wave. So, you know, there's a lot that can happen. There's a lot of, I'm just running the ideas. I don't know exactly which one's going to happen, but I feel like if I shoot the ideas out there, you know, then you can start to look at them yourself, challenge it, and then as the days go on, we can start ruling out different ideas, right? But most of the ideas is either up or down. So, but the question is, how do we get to that up and down moment, right? So, if this is an ABC, right, where you have a diag and then an ABC, the question then becomes, do we hold this area right around that 38K, right? Because we could do something like that, where it's sort of like a running correction, where it's like a, you know, boom, 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 a running correction, and then we start heading up, which would be fine, right? It would just take longer. It would take till, you know, it would take a long time. And that would make sense, because I actually like that, because it would make sense because you have this here, right? And if you look at history, a lot of times when Bitcoin likes to go on new bull runs, it likes to do these little these bases, right? These sideways bases before it likes to climb. So if I go to the daily chart, the only issue I don't like about it is not coming down to backtest this high, which I've talked about a lot, which is this right here. This 31K area is very important. Very important. So this was our little base, right? We come in here, we're basing, building support. Then what do? We break out, and now we're building another potential base before we break out. The problem is, let me take all that off, is coming back down to backtest this area, I think would be a good idea. So, for example, this would be the high, and here's this low. And I'm going to show you an example, too, of why this could work. So we shoot up, we're making a base, we break out, then we make another base on top of this base here, right? Backtesting it, right? Consolidating, and then continuing higher. That's would be very bullish. And so it's kind of interesting, because people think we need to continue to go higher in order to get to a new all-time high, and that's actually not true. In order to get to if you're an ultra bull on Bitcoin and you want it to go to a new all-time high, it needs to build layers of support. So for example, if I go back in time, right, and I see, okay, look at this big bull run. How did it come about? Well, let's go back to the bear market. So we had a bear market right here. This is the low, right? So we came down A, B, C. We built our base, and then what did we do? We came back up and we built another base on top of this base, right? We didn't just continue going up, 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 right? Because that would have never happened. It would have just collapsed. So this is a good learning exercise right here. Very important. I mean, you see this bull, this is like the bull run we had now, right? So we have this high right here, and we're like, okay, how do we break that high? Does the price come down A, B, C, and then it just goes up? No. What does it do? It sideways, base, the bigger the base, the higher in space. The more you build the base, the stronger it becomes later on, right? When you build a foundation of support like this, what you're doing is you are essentially laying down the foundation, not for today or tomorrow, but for months down the line, years down the line, right? So you build this base, you break out, you build another base on top of this base, you back test it, and then what do? Check it out. Then you build another base. Look at this. You build another base. You see what I'm saying? So you go sideways, you mark up. You go sideways, you mark up. You go sideways, and then you start to take off. Let me go to the 2-day chart so I can get it all on here. And then you see what I'm saying? So what's happening is this was the bear market here. We need to get through that. But if you go in a straight shot, it's just going to do this, which is what? A big A, B, C. If it goes straight up. We don't want it to go straight up. We don't want it to go straight up. What we want is slow and methodical. And that's what drives people nuts, right? A lot of people think that, oh, it's not doing anything, we're just going to go down. And that's how people get out of their positions, because they lose, because they think, well, it's just going sideways, it's probably going to dump. But no, that's not true. Going sideways is actually bullish. When you break out, you go sideways. You break out, you go sideways. If in fact we came like this and we started shooting to the upside, that would make me scared, because then I would think we don't have no support, right? It's like building, blocks with one layer of support. They're just going to tumble down, right? And then it's going to go, but look how much later it will go, right? So now let's compare that to what's happening today, right? So you have this base here, boom, right? This is just showing you one last time before I go to the current price. So you have all those sideways bases, and that allowed the price to move. Okay, so now what's happening? So now what we can see, right, is, well, let me do it like this first. You have this base down here, right? So we had same kind of thing, same thing. We came down in an A, B, C, right? We come down, we go in the sideways base, and then what do? We break out. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Isn't this fun? We break out and we go in the same thing, just like last time. You see what I'm saying? So there it is before. A, B, C, sideways, 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 breakout. Sideways, 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 breakout. Sideways, 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 explosion. That's what we want. And that's what's happening at the moment. At the moment. So for example, let me take all that off. If Bitcoin, and this is important, if you don't like Bitcoin, it doesn't matter, because this is on your altcoin. I don't care what altcoin you hold. You got to understand that Bitcoin drives the market. And what I'm showing you with Bitcoin is incredibly important than, more important than for a particular altcoin chart, because this will decide a lot of the altcoins. And I think it's, if not the most important thing, is to understand where Bitcoin is going. Once we are confident in that and we can figure out our elements, then we can venture out into the alts. Even though I'm all in alt, I'm not really in Bitcoin because I'm a long-term investor. I believe in altcoins and utility value. So, but we're not there yet. But at the moment, if this was an ABC and then we just shot up like this, I would be scared that we're just going to come down like this. But what we're doing is we're building these little structures, these little boxes, right? So here's another one here, right? And then what is happening now? Let me zoom in here. Let me make that nicer. Let me actually, let's just use a trend line. Boom. And boom. So there's your first little box. And then we mark up and we're now in our second box, just like the last time, right? And now look at this. We're doing the same thing, right? We're doing the same thing. So what do you think is going to happen? So here you go. So here's the part. Here's the big part. Most retail thinks, okay, if we don't do this, we're screwed. If we don't break out, we're done for. But that's not true. If we break out, I would be like, okay, it's over. We're going down, right? We don't want it to break out right now. Why? Because we don't have no structure. We don't have no support. Look at the chart. Does it look ready to you? Right? I mean, we can. If we do break out, it's going to feel great. It's going to feel bullish. But I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be short-lived. So what do we want to happen? We want the price to work its way down, maybe come back up, work its way down, get back here to 31K. We want to touch 31K. We want to back test it, right? Look at this box. We broke out and we back tested the box, right? So same thing here. We broke out. We want to come down, back test this box, gather some support, and then start to break out. And that is the grand finale right there. Boom. And that, my friends, is the same type of thing that happened over here. So let me put it on again so we can see. So there's box number 1. Here's box number 2. We back tested it, right? And then here's box number 3, right? So what we're going to do now, we're going to do something fun. What we're going to do is, okay, well, first let me show you. There's the 3 boxes, right? And then here's the 3 boxes. So that's sort of what we can expect. We can expect price to come down to back test this area. If we come down to 31K, everybody's going to be what? Bearish. And what are you going to be? Bullish. Well, I can't tell you what you're going to be, but I'm going to be bullish. If we start breaking below 30K, then I'm going to be bearish. I'll change my mind very fast. But as of right now, coming down to 30K, 31K, that's what we want to happen. If you want to break out a new all-time high, then you are cheering for the price to come down. Isn't that sort of the opposite of what you would think, right? Like if you're bullish, you want the price to go up, but that's not true. And that's the complexity of charts, right? So if you're a mega bear, you want the price to go up so that it can collapse on itself. If you're a mega bull, you want the price to consolidate, to build support so that it can continue to march higher. So it's sort of, the opposite, right? So that's basically what I have to say there. So what we can do is, let's go back and look at this. And what we can do here is I'm going to take a fractal and we're just going to line it up here. So I'm going to probably take it from here all the way up to here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and just sort of match it up right in there. So that's sort of what we can expect. I'm just taking the fractal from the third box, right? So this would be 1, 2, and 3. Just like over here. 1, 2, 3. That's an ugly 3, but you know what it is. So basically the fractal is something we can lean on, right? And it looks good. It looks good, and you can see. Let me zoom in here. Let me go back to the daily chart. You could see it looks very nice. We had our bear market. We had Wyckoff accumulation. We broke out. We had consolidation above this, back testing this point right here. We broke this. We broke it. We came down. We back tested it. Then we came up again, right? But we haven't back tested this. Just like we back tested this, we need to back test this. I mean, we don't need to, but it's important that it does, because then what it does is it gives confirmation that it's strong, right? See, going up is easy. Coming back down to make a higher low is the hard part. Because if this is your resistance and you break it, that's easy. But coming back down to back test that resistance is the hard part, because now you have to have conviction that it's going to hold, number one, and number two, you want it to go back up, right? So if you buy here and it breaks out, yay, I'm a winner, but then it comes back down, oh no, what is happening? What do? Do you sell it? Or, you're still above your entry level, but you got to have confidence that it's going to back test so that it can continue going higher. So there you go. I mean, that's basically it in a nutshell. If I zoom all the way out, that's sort of what we're looking at. So you could see the differences, right? So I like to compare this with this one. See, this bear market looks a lot different. So notice, and here's a good example, and this is a very good example. So look at this. Notice how this went straight up. Look what happened. We went straight back down. But look at this. Notice how this is going sideways, breaks up, sideways, breaks up, sideways, breaks up, right? If this bear market would have done that, it would have went sideways, broke up, we wouldn't have all this to deal with, right? So that's what I'm saying. Price can either build support, take its time, and wear you out. And that's the whole point of it, right? The whole point of it is to make you suffer. Because look how long this took, right? Look how long this took. If I go here from the bottom to where we broke out, that's 731 days of just torture, sideways torture with a couple breakouts. So you have to be holding with conviction that it's going to continue higher. And that is why I like charts, because they help, calm down my anxiety if I'm holding, right? Everybody has some sort of anxiety when they have investments. But you can keep that anxiety to zero, or at least at a minimum, if you understand, what's happening in the chart. So, like I said, for example, if we come all the way down in our bear market, right? Just like we did here, all the way down. But look at this. This one shot straight up, but this one went sideways. Which one would you rather hold? Most retail would want this one because it went up. But this is why I'm doing this channel, so that if you're watching, you can sort of be smarter. Maybe you are smart. Maybe you're smartest guy on the planet. You wouldn't be. So if we're going straight up, then most people would love it. But then that would make me nervous because I'm knowing we're going to come down. But if we go sideways, people would hate it. But that's what you want in order to go to the next level. So that's what I'm saying. I think you guys understand. So this could still be, and if we do this, we have a better chance at breaking a new all-time high, right? So this would be like a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we can continue on up. So that's the ultra bullish idea. In order to get to an all-time high, we need to come back down and range in this third box here for a bit. So I know my chart's getting messy. Let me take it all off and just draw it again. Or even here. So if this thing breaks out, I don't think we're going to break all-time high. If we come down and do this and then go, I think we have a better chance at breaking new all-time high. Retail wants this, but then we'll be rewarded with this. The wise investor wants it to come down and consolidate above this, just like this, right? We come up, same thing. So careful what you wish for, because oftentimes it ends up biting you in the butt later on. So another reason why we want it to come down is because look at this move. Look how big the move is from here to here. No pullback. We need a pullback. And then a continuation. That would be what I would like to see happen. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen, right? So that would be the best option. So then the other option would be what? We break out. We break out right now or sometime in the next week or so, and we come up here, we tag this area, and that's it. And then we start working our way back down to reaccumulation and then go. And then what would that be? What would that be? That would be the rise, crash, reaccumulation. The scenario that I'm actually sort of expecting, right? So we have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, we have reaccumulation, sideways, and then go. That's option number 2. So the boxes I had, right? So the boxes right here, the sideways steps, that's option number 1, right? Where we, no particular order. Just because it's number 1 doesn't mean it's going to be more likely, but that's just an idea. And then we continue breaking new all-time high. Option number 2 is this is a textbook rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, and then blast off. Just like over here. Just like over here. So you see what happened here. We had a rise, we had a crash, we had a retrace, and then we had reaccumulation down here, and then we went. So it's the same thing, right? So boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So same thing. So those are your 2 options. If you're bullish, those are the 2 options. If you're bearish, then this is an ABC. Or, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, and now, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is A, and then 1, 2, 3, maybe 3's not done yet, maybe 3 gets us up to that 47K area, so 1, 2, 3, and then we have another 5, which would be the ultimate bearish case, which is what a lot of people were expecting down here. Everybody was so bearish all through here, saying we're going to go much lower, 10K, 9K, 8K, 7K, 6K, 12K, 14K. I mean, they just spitting out low numbers. But the problem is we already went down for so long. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 waves. So we're not going to just continue going down, down, down. We need a pullback. So we got a pullback. We have a 1, 2, 3. We have a B wave. So now it's over with. And now what? We just finished up the correction. So it would be A, B, and then C, right? So this would be B, and this would be C. And where does C go? C comes back down to backtest this area, about 14K. I would say between 12 and 14K right in here. So A, B, C. We come down here, we consolidate, backtest it. We're backtesting this area, and then we go. So those are the 3 big main ideas. There you go, guys. That's it. Those are the 3 main ideas. So again, idea number 1, this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this is an A, B, C. We backtest this 14 between, I don't know, 9 and 14K. It can really go anyway, right? I mean, it can even go even lower than that. But I don't think so, right? I think it's going to land somewhere between the 6K and 14K area. And we'll discuss that more if and when it gets there. So that's my son. He's battling a cold. He's only 2 and he's handling it like a champ. I know most adults would be throwing a fit, but he's doing pretty good for his age, having a cold. He had a fever last night, but it's come down a little bit, and he's doing better. So, in case you were wondering, so yeah, that's it there. So option number 1, A, B, C. We come down, we backtest, we go. Option number 2. This was a rise, this is a crash, this is a retrace. We come down for reaccumulation, and then we go. That's option number 2. Option number 3 is the one that I like because it gets us out of here, which is these little boxes. Box number 1, box number 2, and then you have box number 3, right? It's kind of ugly, I know, but bear with me. Same thing that happened over here. So you have box number 1, box number 2, and box number 3. And that led to a big parabolic run. So, yeah. So those are the 3 options. I can actually take a fractal and overlay it. So here's the fractal. I pulled it from down here, right in here. And now I'm just going to take this and sort of overlay it a little bit. And you could see we are, look at that. We are right on schedule. I mean, come on. Look at that. So you have this sideways base in here. You have this breakout, right? Obviously this breakout was a little quicker, but then look what happened. We went sideways, and then right on almost the exact day, we broke out. So look at that. And now what's happening? Look at that. So let me just draw this in here. So there's your base. There's your other base. Here's your second base, right? And then now we're working on our third base. We're almost done. Granted, now we got to look at the fractal. See the purple fractal? Look at that. We came down, we back tested the top of this one here. So that's actually not bad at all. Let me straighten this one out. So it's not perfect. I'm not trying to be precise perfect. I'm just trying to show you for the purpose of this video. So that's sort of the bullish idea, right? Is I gave you 3 ideas. I think it's going to be one of those 3. This is going to be obviously the most bullish idea, right? Now, is there a 4th idea? The 4th idea says it defies all logic and it just goes, right? I mean, place your bets. I don't think that could happen. Obviously it could, right? Maybe two bases was enough. Last time we had three, but maybe we have one, two, and now that was enough, and now we can get out of here. Maybe, right? But I wouldn't, bet the farm on it, right? But at the same time, we're all hodlers. I mean, I think most of us are just hodlers. We like to hold. We're holding for the future, and we don't care what it does, right? At the present moment, right? So, yeah, that's basically it. Um, you got the breakout of the second base, and now expecting it to eventually come back down here, work its way back down to 30K, right? And then sort of go sideways a little bit and then just break out of here. And that's kind of how, the cookie's going to crumble. So going back to my other video, which was XRP, and I probably won't do it now, but that would make sense because that would give us that A, B, C, and then we can go. And that would line up with Bitcoin too. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta watch the XRP videos. Basically looking at this like a triangle, right? A contracting triangle where you have 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3, B, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, D, and now we're working on E. 1, 2, and now we need that final third one, and then we can go to the moon. And I mean big, big, big moon, just like over here, right? Just like over here, we had an A, B, C, D, and then E, and then we went and look at this E wave. We came all the way down, right? And then it's also a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off, just like I talked about, like one of those ideas with Bitcoin. It's the same kind of thing, right? Where the Bitcoin, that idea, which was a rise, a crash, a retrace, we come down for reaccumulation, we go sideways a bit, and then we break out. So there you go, guys. I got to look at Theta Fuel, Theta, and a couple other ones, but I didn't want to do it all in one video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you can, leave a like, a comment. And if you have any ideas or any coins you want me to check a look at, feel free to drop them in the comment section. But other than that, I think we're about done. Looking at the 2-hour chart on Bitcoin, we have a nice pump here. So just look at that. So we're tracking this here. This could be, like I said, this could be a 1, 2, and now we're 3, 4, 5, right? We're going up. We're going higher. That it could be the case, right? So if that's the case, then, look out below, because this will be the last push up, right? The last hoorah before we come back down. If we just go sideways a bit, then we have a better chance at holding these levels up here. So it'll be interesting to see how this forms. So yeah, we'll keep checking in and bring updates as needed. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.